Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kenny Lamons here with Medicare Millennials, where we are taking you along for the ride as we go on this journey of building a large, successful Medicare book of business and hopefully try to help teach you guys and give you tips and tricks and strategies on how to sell Medicare year round. So we can continue to build that book of business. Today, I have a special guest. He's a friend of mine, but we also work together. He is a relatively new agent in the business, at least in the Medicare business. And I just wanted to share just a quick interview. I'll ask him some questions that I think will be really relevant to a lot of you who watch these videos. And just hopefully he can share some insight for those of you who are kicking the tires or maybe just getting started to kind of see what his experience has been like. So this is Mr. Travis Lane. Travis, how are you today?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing great. Well, a little under the weather these past couple of days, but it seems like everybody is right now. So feeling better.
That's right.
Well, Travis, I know you've kind of had kind of like where you've dipped your toes in a couple of different times into the senior market to really get started. How did you get into senior market insurance sales? And specifically, now that you've found some good success in Medicare, how did you get into Medicare?
Yeah. So my dad actually has been in the industry for about 32 years now. He's owned his own independent agency since I want to say like 2008 or so. And when I came on board with him in 2016, I went strictly independent. So I've never been a captive agent, just strictly independent. So I don't know, if that's good or bad for me. I don't have the experience other than being an independent. But when I started with him in 2016, we rebranded the company and I went right into Medicare, which is for a lot of people, that's not the way they go into it. So I jumped right into Medicare. My first AEP was 2016. And I didn't know what I was doing at all. I was buying leads, doing a mail drop, probably getting 1,000-piece mailers and dropping them maybe once a month, getting an okay return, but I wasn't on a consistent plan. So I was just kind of failing forward, if you will, and trying to figure it out on my own. After that AEP, I think I ended with like 30 applications. So it was okay for being my first AEP, and started the following year in 2017, moving forward with OEP and trying to go after that lower income market, the LIS market, and just wasn't having success. Honestly, I didn't have a plan. It was just me and my dad. I didn't have a good upline at the time, so I wasn't doing very well, and I actually failed out of the business the first time. And then I came back in the business back in 2020. I think it was the fall of 2020.
So you were out for nearly 2 years.
Yeah. I went completely different industry, came back and tried to give it another shot. Came back in the fall of 2020, did another AEP, and it was again another probably 30 applications. Did try to do telesales, didn't work out for me doing that. And then I found the FMO I'm with now, which is the same as your FMO, and found you guys in April, I think, of 2021, and been with 360 ever since.
Awesome. So, success is relative, right? 30 applications, your very first AEP is probably blows the socks off what a lot of new agents do, but it may not be what you wanted to get at. So since this second dive back in and kind of repartnering with a new FMO and doing some things different, what's changed and what's your progression looking like now? What are your current goals and averages, and are things looking better for you? How's all that going?
Yeah, dude, things have definitely changed. Now I have an actual plan. I have a group of people that I can rely on. I've got you and Ethan that I talk to pretty much on a weekly or monthly basis, at least, just to figure out, what's working, what's not working. But I'm on a fixed lead now. Every week I get a certain amount of leads. I started, I think, with 20 or 25 when I jumped back into it, April of last year. And now I'm up to like 40 leads a week. So I'm consistently getting that lead flow to be able to call and set my own appointments, go out to see people, 3 to 4 days a week, running about 6 to 8 appointments a day. And then on a monthly basis, I'm probably closing between 30 and 40 a month.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So obviously selling 30 plans that first AEP, getting out of the business, selling 30 that second AEP, then plugging into a little bit, tweaking your system, plugging in with a new group, doing some things differently. And now you're selling, up to 40-ish a month. You've obviously now gained a lot more experience, right? You've presented a lot more plans. You've dealt with, how do I make sure I keep this customer on the books? Did I really put them in the best plan so they'll stick around? What has some of that learning curve looked like, and how big was it for you to consistently be seeing people and presenting Medicare products, as far as for your experience and your success?
Yeah, I mean, since I had already been in the industry before, I'd already presented some Medicare, presentations, obviously, and coming back into it, I just tweaked it a little bit. I learned from you and Ethan and some of the guys in our FML, and just kind of tweak the presentation to, be a help to someone. I don't go in trying to flip somebody. I'm just trying to see if I can help them out, and just trying to figure out what I can do for them. But it's definitely been a little bit of a learning curve. But once I got into it, it just comes natural now. I run in, run out, and do what I can for the client to make sure that they're in the best position possible. So
I know you mentioned you've more or less always worked direct mail leads, more or less.
Yeah,
Sounds like
pretty much. I don't really work anything else.
So the Medicare market's pretty hot right now in general. I mean, you've got tons of call centers, on over the phone agents. Of course, you've got the we may be fewer in between, but also pretty hot and popular is being an independent local Medicare agent like you and I. So that can make lead flows go up, go down. It can be frustrating because there's just a lot of market saturation. But I've always believed that even when, like during AEP, when lead returns and lead costs are the highest and returns may be the lowest, I've always been of the belief that we still have a distinct advantage because we're a local, physical, real presence, and we've kind of got something other than a solicited phone call when we go and meet with our prospect, like, hey, you filled this out, So even if it was a bad week and I only got half the leads I wanted, I still have always felt pretty confident that as long as it was a good direct mail lead that someone filled out, I had a chance to consistently sell policies. So with that being said, you're obviously a direct mail lead guy as well. What do you like about direct mail why is it that you've always found yourself going back to that? And then also, what struggles have you had with direct mail leads?
I would say I just go direct mail just because, whether someone's new in the industry or not, you've probably heard direct mail is king, and it really is. It's the person gets the mail card from you. They've got to go to their mailbox, bring it in the house, look at it, make sure they want to fill it out or not. They fill it out, go back to the mailbox, and mail it back out to you. So it takes a lot more time for them to actually think about it versus maybe an internet lead or a Facebook lead or whatever other lead where they can just fill something out really quick online and it's done. They've got to think about the direct mail lead. You'll get occasional people that say, oh, I didn't do that, or I didn't do this, or whatever it is. You can door knock them, show them that they did fill it out. But I like it. It's a physical piece of paper that I can go show them, this is what you signed. And then most of the time they'll be like, yeah, okay, I did do that. But a lot of times on the phone, they'll be like, oh yeah, I did fill it out, waiting for someone to call me. So I'll just call them and go through the appointment setting and go out and see them and see what I can do to help. So I just like that.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. Finish that.
Yeah, I was just saying, I like that it's an actual physical piece of paper that someone literally filled out themselves.
Yeah.
It's just proof.
And I would argue, especially for a new agent, it's going to be really hard if you go independent to differentiate yourself from the millions of call center calls that these seniors get every day. But when you go with direct mail and you go face to face, even though your Medicare knowledge isn't sky high yet as a new agent, your sales skills aren't typically going to be sky high yet as a new Medicare agent. I think that you really give yourself kind of a leg up, at least when you're new, by going face to face and working direct mail leads, because a lot of those other operations are kind of a volume game, and that's really hard for a brand new agent. But
Yeah.
why do you like going face to face? Why don't you have sales skills now? Medicare inside and out. You've sold, hundreds of policies at this point, cumulatively, at least. And you've definitely run hundreds and hundreds of appointments. Technically, you could make this work over the phone. You have the knowledge, the experience. Why do you still prefer to, again, whether direct mail or not, to try to work with somebody face to face and locally?
I think it makes you stand out, because they are getting so many calls a day. You could just be another person trying to sell them over the phone, but I'm local to these people. I'm right in their backyard. I always talk about how I'm right down the road. If they ever need me, call me. Their fridge has my magnet on it when I leave, so they go right there and call me if they need me. I'll get texts from them, but I'm a local presence. So still trying to build my company's brand around here so that people know we are the Medicare people, we are the Medicare guys. But I think it's more of a lasting impact on somebody that, hey, this guy really is local to me. It's not just someone calling from a call center in California. It makes you stand out more for sure.
What does your persistency look like? And what steps do you take to try to, because you always hear me say on my YouTube channel, it's about building a long-term successful book of business, right? So to me, it's not even the number one thing is keeping what you sell on the books, because Medicare is a long-term residual payoff. It's not as much about the upfront commission like maybe a life insurance or an annuity sale is. So persistency is huge to me. I'm still trying to find the absolute best practices. Being local is one thing that automatically helps, right? Like you said, they've got your picture and name and number on their fridge. But has your persistency looked like so far as keeping policies on the books? Because we're all going to experience turnover. And what are some steps that you found have been effective to kind of keep people renewing with you, not leaving you?
Yeah, I mean, I think when I joined the FMO, I think I had maybe like 20 or 30 policies on the books. And as of today, I've got like 205. So I've definitely gained more than I've lost. But I would say over that, before AEP, I would say maybe I lost like maybe one a month, just people ended up passing away. They maybe moved out of state. They just flipped on me for whatever reason. But I would say about on average one a month, between April and December of last year. AEP a little bit more just because the call centers definitely were vicious this year for sure. Trying to work on the persistency and the retention that obviously we want to retain our clients. So with the CRM, I'm trying to do a little bit more, texting and stuff like that, where it's an automated process. Doing postcards every now and again. I just did a magazine subscription for my current clients. They'll get those quarterly from me. Again, it's got my name and number all, plastered all over the magazine. I do live broadcast, drop in voicemail, ringless voicemail drops every now and again, just stuff like that. I'm hopefully going to be hiring my wife here pretty soon to make calls for me and do my customer service, maybe touching on these people, every couple of months, herself, just, all these things combined to retain my clients, because, people are out there flipping your clients, whether you like it or not. So to retain them, you've got to do stuff to hold on to those people.
Yeah. And you're going to lose a certain amount of clients naturally. Like you said, people pass away, especially in the senior market, right? People move, people get swindled. I mean, I get a lot of clients. I'm not kidding you. If I lose 10 clients, like 5 of them end up calling me back within the next 1 to 3 months saying, Kenny, I didn't mean to do it. Somebody called me and it sounded good. I didn't know I lost this plan when I got, they were confused. They were just called by somebody over the phone. Things didn't work out. And they actually call me back like, take me back, Kenny, take me back. And that's part of being local. That's a benefit, right? They know me. But even with those there's others that just leave you. And so you got to stomach some turnover. But I think what you said, though, it doesn't have to be anything too fancy in my experience. Number one, being local and actually knowing your plans where you put them in the best spot, right? Because if you do that and somebody does get them to switch, that's how they end up calling you back saying, never mind, Kenny, can you switch me back? But on the back end, what you said, just touching them. I love the magazine subscription quarterly. It's all about them just seeing your face and seeing that phone number frequently to me.
Yeah.
Having your name and a picture and number on the fridge, seeing a postcard from you with you and your family occasionally, seeing a quarterly or biannual magazine subscription with your name and number. Because what happens is they're bombarded on the internet, on the phone, on TV about these bait and switch promises for Medicare. And all I want is the ones that are willing to be loyal. I want to make sure my name and face is in front of them enough that they think to call me before they call that 1-800 number that they're being bombarded.
I had a lady do that yesterday. She got a card in the mail and it was talking about, I can't remember if it was the Medicare Savings Program or whatever it was. And she was like, what is this? Do I need to call? Nope, don't call the number. You're good. Call me for any questions. Glad you called me. All they're going to do is switch into something else and mess up what we did. So don't worry about calling that number. So yeah, I mean, it's great when someone calls you to make sure that that's something they don't need to do.
It's so funny to me. I've never, ever, well, I can't say never, ever. I ran a lot of appointments, but I can't even remember one time where I sat with a client that bought from a call center that remembered their agent's name or anything.
All right.
Yeah. Never. Now, there may have been some circumstances where like an independent agent actually was a phone agent and sold them a policy over the phone. It's still not as strong as me being there face to face with them, but they know who that person is, like that independent agent probably mailed them a card or something. But if they bought from a call center, whoever Cindy, Lou, Johnny XYZ that sold them, they're never going to remember that. And, that's a big, people are often worried like, well, if I get into this business, it's competitive. These call centers are just going to go flip all the work I put into it. It's going to happen sometimes. The reality is those of us willing to create a local presence in a direct relationship, it's more of an advantage than anything. 90% of the plans that I sell are to somebody who desperately would love to have one agent to take care of them.
Yep.
We bought their policy over the phone. They have no allegiance to any person because nobody's ever helped them or followed up with them. And again, I guess I'm kind of harping on this, but I think that's the strongest retention tool we have right there. So.
Yeah. And just you brought up a good point with I think you said something about the cards that some of these call center independent agents might send out. Another retention thing is thank you cards. I do that after every appointment I have. If I sold them, I'll send them a thank you card. Birthday cards. I sent Christmas cards. Just stuff like that no one else is doing that makes you stand apart as well.
Yeah. So what's your goal? You've kind of dabbled. You got in and out, then back into the business. Your momentum now is headed in the right direction. Like you just said, you've got, I think you said a little over 200 on the books, even after fall off right now. So you're right there on that threshold. In my experience, it was when I hit about 250 to 300 clients, my referrals started I just noticed like, man, they're more consistent on referrals. They're used to getting the postcards from me. It's like that critical number. So my question to you is you're kind of right there. Your momentum's carrying you forward. What is your kind of mid to long-term goal with this? Do you have a certain number of clients in your head? Do you want to hire agents in the future? Do you want to hire a full-time office person to help you manage your book? What are your goals here with this?
Yeah, my first and foremost goal was always to get 250 because that's a nice steady income every year. If that's all you had, that's a great income just by your previous book. So 250 was always the first goal, and then 500. That's my main goal right now, and then eventually 1,000. What that looks like is hopefully in the next 3 to 4 years, maybe sooner, just depends. But But yeah, it's kind of what I'm aiming for is 1,000 clients on the books and growing from there. I mean, that's a lot of clients. Definitely going to need help for that. I'm sure I'm going to have to hire somebody. Like I said, right now, hopefully my wife will step in and help me for now, and maybe we'll hire another, customer service agent or something just to take care of the book. Agents down the line, maybe. I mean, that's a possibility. My dad and I have talked about bringing in somebody else or a couple people around here or across the United States. So I don't know. I haven't really thought that far in advance yet, but my first goal is 250, second 500, third goal is 1,000.
Awesome. I think those are great goals, man. People don't realize just how much money 1,000 clients on the books is. That's even for just a regular independent agent, doesn't recruit any agents, doesn't have like an MGA contract, just a regular agent. If you've got 1,000 clients on the books, that's like $25,000 a month. Get a little bit less,
Yeah.
right? Like 24,000.
It's like $280,000 a year or something, whatever that breaks down to monthly.
Yeah.
And that's always increasing. So
yeah,
every year it increases a little bit.
So I don't want to drag this out too long. I just thought of 2 more quick questions, if you could answer for me, to just shed some light for some of these newer agents who are maybe a little bit behind you or brand new and trying to kind of glean from you and learn something from you here. Number one, so far, now that you're around that couple hundred active clients mark, has the service work been too much, or has it been manageable in the Medicare space? What's that?
No, it's definitely been manageable. You always get the random calls of, hey, what do I do with this? Or, hey, what do I need to go, or where do I need to go for my dental, or whatever it is. But no, it's been manageable. Nothing too crazy.
You don't feel so overwhelmed that you necessarily need somebody to answer those calls yet at all?
No, not at all.
I don't feel that it's that overwhelming either. Seniors are pretty patient. I train my clients that, like, if it is, let me make it very clear to you, because I've had this happen before. I've had somebody call me for like a medical emergency, and I'm like, whoa, I'm like an agent, like, no. So I make it very clear to my clients, like, my number one job is to serve you in making sure that you're in the best plan you can be in, right? And so here's kind of the times you call me when you thought that your plan provided some benefit that either it doesn't, or you don't know how to use it, or if you are having trouble utilizing your plan, like you're trying to go to a doctor, they say they don't take that plan, or you try to go get a medicine and all of a sudden they're saying a medicine isn't covered. I will help you, guide you to the right place to fix that problem, or if we have to, we'll find a plan that covers that. But I cannot deal in claims because of HIPAA laws and all kinds of regulations. I don't ever facilitate the payments from your insurance plan. I can't talk to your doctors and healthcare professionals. You need to make sure, and I point them, here's the member services phone number, here's the health claims phone number, just so that, and as long as you're clear on that, then they'll learn pretty quickly, like, they're not going to call me and say, Kenny, I need a prior authorization for the surgery. Can you get that for me? I'm sorry, I'm just your agent. I'm not a claims professional here, but let me get you to the right. A lot of service work on Medicare is, let me get you to the right person who does that.
Right.
And it's like 4 minutes later, you've got them on the phone with the right people and we move on. It's not much.
Yeah. I mean, I take it a little step further. Sometimes one lady was talking about prescriptions not being covered or whatever. They won't send out her medicines through the mail order. I called the company, got it straight. She's called me a couple times for that. But she loves that. She appreciates me doing that, and I don't think she'll ever leave me because I've helped her with so much stuff. And then you got the lady that called me the other day that, hey, I need a ride to the doctor. Whoa, I don't do that. I'm sorry. Look in your book. It's on, or the back of your card. The number's there. Call and set it up. I don't. She's called me like 4 times for a ride.
Like you're the Uber driver for the plan too. You're not just the agent. You're not just the agent. You're the Uber driver for the plan too.
Do it all.
Yeah. So that comes with experience, just knowing what you can and can't do for these people and expressing that to them. But okay, last question. You had alluded to the FMO that we're affiliated with, which is 360 Insurance Group. One of the big pros to them is they do have a pretty cool lead credit program for those that take advantage of it. Do you do that?
Yes.
And what does that look like for you?
I do, and that's actually one reason I was not around too long, because leads do get expensive. So I am on their lead program that helps subsidize lead cost. So that's definitely helped out to, you know, move me forward, because in your first year, 2 years, I mean, you got to pay a lot in marketing to get clients. And what does that look like? You got to buy leads, or grassroots marketing, which takes a little bit longer. But the direct mail lead system is for sure what's helped me along.
So about roughly, I mean, what does that look like? About how much do you pay for your leads? How much do you end up getting paid for your leads? What is it? You share?
Depends. Generally, I don't pay 100% because I make enough sales to get the subsidy. But every now and again, I may have to pay a little bit. So maybe a couple $100 a week.
Versus what could be $1,000 a week, right? Or more,
yeah.
or significantly more, depending how many leads you want to buy. Yeah, so I'll be happy to share what our lead program looks like. It's evolved and changed because we want to make sure it fits everybody. But one of the cool things about our FMO is, for better or for worse, they kind of know that the lifeblood for all of us independent agents is consistent lead flow. So they actually put real money on the table for lead costs, and that's super important. So, but Travis, I appreciate you sharing with me. I hope there's some people that took some stuff away from you. I love working with you, man. You're just, you're like really focused on this business. I love when you call and ask me questions, they're always spot on. I'm like, man, I either just recently dealt with that myself, or I'm currently dealing with that with myself. And that's a good sign, because it's obviously working out for you. You're growing pretty quick here. So.
Well, I appreciate it. You guys have definitely changed my life. So I do appreciate you guys.
Well, I won't hold you any longer. Stay warm, Travis, and thank you for coming on.
Yes, sir.